The man in the dog is businessman Rameez Patel. He has just been found guilty of killing his wife Fatima Patel. This is not just a win for justice, because this case has been on trial for almost 10 years, the longest running trial at the Polokwane High Court. In the years, the Judge Joseph Raulinga, was pointed with a gun. His house was robbed. A stranger invaded his chambers and his security. He requested police protection. Dockets went missing and court files were stolen from his office. Before his arrest, Rameez confessed about Fatima's murder to his brother, and then his father Firoz was shot and killed. His mother Mahajeen was shot and killed. They also tried to kill his brother Razin. His father-in-law Yunus was also killed. His help, Sbongile and Deni, they have vanished.
They accuse me Rice. The accused is found guilty as charged of murder, possession of firearm, and possession of ammunition without a license.
So this moment here is a win. It's a win for everyone. It is a win for his wife Fatima Patel. And this is her story. Welcome to True Crime Julia. On this channel, we look into true crime cases that have happened in South Africa. Today's case is a historic one for justice. We hardly ever give judges their flowers, but if there is an award for bravery and perseverance, Judge Raulinga deserves it. He said in court that one day I need to see justice in this case, and if I am still alive by that time. So you can imagine it's never easy to preside over a case that has so much fear, intimidation, threats that are actually being carried out, delayed tactics, and all of this for a whole 9 years. This story does deserve to be told. So please note that we have relied on court records, we have relied on news reports, and a verdict that was handed down on Tuesday. We are just waiting for sentencing for this particular case. So let us get into it. The Patel family is very influential in Polokwane. They are very wealthy. They own a chain of grocery stores and spare parts shops spread around the province. They are a family of 4. Firoz and Mahajeen have 2 sons, Rameez and Razin. The family is doing so well. Firoz, the patriarch, is called king of the throne in the business world in Limpopo. He is working very hard for his children. Rameez, who is the eldest, is said to inherit a lot of money and the entire Patel business empire. Him and his brother are set for life. At 30 years old, Rameez, the eldest, is a professional cage fighter. He is married to 28-year-old Fatima. They have 3 sons together. The family stays in a posh home in Nevena in Polokwane. The couple, however, is not doing too well. They argue a lot. Razim is having an affair with another woman. Her name is Nazreen Mayet. On April 10, 2015, 28-year-old Fatima was found dead at the couple's home. She was found in the dining room. Her head was close to the bathroom. She was facing up. She lay in a pool of blood. No signs of forced entry, no stolen items, no broken locks. Rameez claimed that he'd come home and discovered intruders had attacked her. He says when he got in, he screamed, he held her. But almost immediately, police found problems with his story. The intruder version, it changed so many times, and nothing in the house suggested a break-in. As forensic teams examined Fatima's body, a chilling picture emerged. She had suffered blunt force trauma, possible strangulation, and eventually an autopsy report would confirm that she was executed with a single shot to the head. She had been hit with a baseball bat, and she was choked so hard that her tongue bone was crushed, and the gunshot wound was at close range to her face. A cricket bat, which was found hidden in the ceiling of their garage, was suspected to have been used as one of the murder weapons. Yet Rameez insisted. He said he had nothing to do with her death. Investigators noticed scratch marks on Rameez's neck and an injury to his finger. The state argued that these injuries came from a struggle. They say Fatima fought for her life. But the defense countered that there was no evidence or DNA evidence in her fingernails. They claimed that this is proof that there was never a physical contact with her. Prosecutors dismissed this point, saying Rameez bathed and he changed clothes 3 times immediately after the murder, something they found extremely suspicious. Who prioritizes taking a bath after finding their wife dead? Unless they're trying to get rid of something. His explanation, he said he bathed at his uncle's house to prepare for evening prayer immediately after discovering Fatima's body. The state said no reasonable person would leave the scene of the spouse's murder to go and take a shower. Rameez was arrested and the trial began in 2016, but it didn't end. Not for months, not for years. The process was plagued with delays. It was plagued with missing records, changes in legal teams, and motions that the presiding judge, Judge Joseph Raulinga, described as deliberate tactics. Rameez even applied to have the judge recused. He said the judge was biased. All of this, delay tactics. At one point, transcripts that should have been stored in the judge's office were found in the hands of Rameez's lawyers, thus while the state did not have any access to them. And then, the most disturbing part, Judge Raulinga revealed that he received death threats. He said someone entered his chambers without authorization, and he even reported a break-in at his home. He requested some police protection, requests that initially went ignored. He said in court, "I hope to finalize this case if I am still alive at that time." This wasn't just a murder trial, it had become a war of attrition. Adding another layer of darkness, the Patel family had been plagued by violence. Razim was granted bail of 250,000 rand. Then on Friday, 12 August 2016, his father Firoz was gunned down on Platinum Street in Polokwane. A police report that came out at the time revealed that Firoz, who was 54 years old, was driving around Polokwane when he realized that he was being pursued by two cars. He tried to drive away from them, and then he lost control of his car and crashed into a brick wall of a building on Platinum Street. 4 armed men approached his car and shot at him. They killed him instantly. They then stole a bag from his car. To this day, Firoz's murder remains unsolved. And then a year later, Rameez's mother Mahajin, who was 51 years old at the time, was shot in the head at her home in Navina on 19 September 2017. She was rushed to the hospital, but she was pronounced dead. The state claimed that Rameez paid Inkabi 15,000 rand to kill his mother because of an alleged dispute over finances. She was shot in front of her house help. Rameez was arrested for this murder 10 days later. The case against him, however, was dropped due to lack of evidence. And then a year later, in July 2018, Rameez's brother Razim was shot a day before he could testify as a state witness for the case in the trial in connection with Fatima's murder. He was shot 4 times, twice in the head and twice in the arm. This happened along the R71 road between Mankweng and Polokwane near Makheng village. He was admitted in hospital and then he had to flee to the UK for his own safety. Ali Salman, a 22-year-old man who allegedly shot Razim, then handed himself over to the police 3 days later, and he was charged with attempted murder. After recovering, Razim eventually took to the stand. His testimony shocked the courtroom. He testified while being escorted in and out of the Limpopo High Court by members of the Witness Protection Unit. They remained by his side even in the witness stand because he feared for his life. He testified that on the day that Fatima was killed, she was packing her belongings with the intention to leave after an argument with Rameez. Then Rameez told Razim to take the children and the nanny to their family wholesaler. Rameez then arrived at the wholesaler about 30 minutes later with wet hair and fresh clothes. When he was asked about Fatima, he said he killed her. Razin says Rameez looked at him and said, "She is dead, you idiot. If you tell anyone, you are next." And according to Razin, that was the first time Rameez threatened him. He allegedly said he would kill their parents if Razin told them about it. In his testimony, Razin said their father was gunned down just 2 weeks after he told him. He added that his mother was shot about a week after he had told her too. Razin then testified that he was even threatened by his brother at the open grave of his mother. He said Rameez pointed to the coffin and said, "You don't know me. I will put you in there as well." Razin was allegedly choked by Rameez on several occasions. Razin also testified that on the day of the murder, Rameez arrived at the wholesaler with Fatima's handbag, bloody clothes, toys, and a firearm. He allegedly asked Razin to put everything in a black bag and into a box and to hide it in the warehouse. A week after Fatima's death, Rameez was arrested and Razin received a call from his girlfriend Nazreen Mayet. They then met in Navina, where she handed him a cell phone with Rameez on the line. He told him to give the box to Nazreen. They met again the following day in Star Park, where Razin gave the box to Nazreen. Now let's move to Nazreen. Nazreen and Rameez were both married when they started the affair. Nazreen was married to Abdullah Rehman Nazim. Abdullah would later say that he found out in August of 2014 that his wife Nazreen was cheating on him with Rameez. They were allegedly meeting at a gym and at the school that their children attended. He says he called a meeting with Fatima, Nazreen and Rameez at a restaurant in October 2014. And on the day, the cheating couple promised to end the affair, but they never did. Abdullah then divorced Nazreen on 12 January 2015. She then stayed at a house in Bendo, and then she moved to Razim's house in Sikad East State. After Fatima's murder, the couple then got married. Then, on Saturday 8 September 2018, Nazreen's family was at a local shopping mall, and then they returned home at around 11 p.m. 3 men in a black VW Golf shot at the family on their way back. Nazreen's father, Yunus Mayet, was with them. They then grabbed and shoved him into the trunk of the car. They also took the father's watches, cell phones, and cash before they left with him. His body was then discovered almost 10 kilometers away near the Polokwane Airport in Silicon Road. He had multiple gunshot wounds. The family's cell phones had been dumped in several locations. Before his murder, Yunus was assisting Rameez with running his family business while he was in jail. Sources close to the Mayet family reportedly said Yunus did not approve of Rameez's marriage to his daughter, and he had tolerated the relationship for the sake of his daughter. Rameez was never linked to the murder, and to this day, just like his father Firoz's case, the kidnapping and murder of Yunus remains unsolved. During trial, Rameez's house help Sibongile Ngwenya was a key witness in being Fatima's voice in court because she witnessed a lot to do with the affair. She would hear the couple fight at home, and she was there and watched how Fatima tried to leave. On the day that she was killed, Razim's employee at the wholesaler, Deni Kunduza, he said that Fatima asked him for boxes. She was packing her things and she was leaving. Sibongile, the kids, Razim, and Deni were told to go to the wholesaler by Razim on the day, so Deni never got to give Fatima the boxes. According to some reports, Deni and Sibongile were put on witness protection, but they vanished without a trace. In 2025, after closing arguments from both sides, Judge Raulinga delivered his long-awaited decision. He said the defense relied heavily on circumstantial evidence. This could not be corroborated in court, and that the state had presented a strong chain of events, a strong chain of facts, strong enough to prove guilt. Rameez Patel was convicted of murdering his wife Fatima. He was found guilty.
They accused me rice. The accused is found guilty as charged of murder, possession of firearm, and possession of ammunition without a license. I told my dad about 3 days before he died. I told my mother some few weeks before she died. My dad was shot a block away from work. My mom was shot in our house in Nirvana. I then decided to approach the police. I then informed the police about the threats and the confession. He had threatened me, that is the accused.
The trial that began with the murder of a woman ended with the unraveling of a dysfunctional, fear-ridden, violent chapter of a family and a justice system that stretched to its limits. And if you think that is it, that's done, you are wrong. Rameez tried it one more time. When he appeared in court on Wednesday, 26 November, he tried to sneak in an application to have his bail extended while he awaits for sentencing to begin.
My Lord, the first application I've been instructed to make is that relating to a pre-sentence report. And I ask your Lordship to direct that the requisite probation officer or social worker is mandated to conduct the relevant investigations in terms of the Probation Services Act 116 of 1991.
So he said he has loose business ends that he needs to tie, but the court said no. Can you believe him? This case is a haunting reminder of how long justice can take and how deeply it can cost everyone involved. Fatima Patel's family waited long, nearly a decade, for closure. A judge risked his safety to deliver a verdict, and a community watched a story unfold that felt stranger, darker, and more complex than fiction. The Patel family business is weaker now. Most of the stores are sold and renamed. The family is basically no longer there. Their homes lay vacant. So what are your thoughts on the story? Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Please stay safe.